Don't you worry, don't you cry. I can promise it gets better in time. Keep your head up, keep your shine. Hold my hand up, it gets better in time.
Hit the subscribe button because you're gonna want to stay. If you're returning, hey besties, it's so good to see you guys again. We have a new kitchen. This is the first meal prep you guys are getting in my new apartment. It sounds very echoey because you're gonna have the furniture. Not the point. We are getting into meal prepping. I'm getting back to the basics because I just feel like now that my move is over, I can really now start to concentrate back on my health. Because like, if you don't know, moving is stressful and you kind of just eat whatever you can, like you're kind of in survival mode. At least that was the case for me. So today I'm gonna give you 3 super quick, easy, and delicious meals that are sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals while on your journey. I'm gonna give you guys a breakfast, lunch, and dinner option. For breakfast, we have these protein muffin boxes that are protein packed, have some fresh fruit, eggs, and muffins. They're super quick to make, they're convenient to travel with, and they're super easy to eat because they're delicious. Then for lunch, I'm gonna show you guys a salad that I have been eating every day for like the last 2.5 weeks. It's just a regular green salad with some green veggies, a protein of choice. I'm using salmon, and then a very quick vinaigrette that has been holding it down until I can get to the grocery store and find the actual salad dressings that I like, because that's another story. And then for dinner, you can't go wrong with hibachi bowls. Mine are packed with stir-fried veggies, fried rice, and a ton of chicken. You can obviously swap your proteins if you are vegetarian, if you are pescatarian. Definitely swap for the proteins that you can eat. That literally goes with every one of my recipes. I'm not telling you that you have to eat chicken and fish all the time. You can eat whatever you need to, okay? You guys can pause here to read my disclaimer here. Also, the macros will be at the end of each meal that I prepare, so if that's something that triggers you, please feel free to skip it. You can use the timestamps down below to skip that portion because, you know, we're not trying to trigger you over here. All the recipes will be linked down below in the description box, and that's it. So let's go ahead and jump into this meal prep. Okay, y'all, so we are getting right into breakfast and we're making some protein muffins, but as you just saw, that is not muffin mix. I had to doctor this recipe up. So I'm using the Kodiak chocolate chip pancakes, flapjacks mix, whatever it's called, some almond milk, bananas, honey, butter, some sugar-free chocolate chips, and an egg. And I'm just gonna go ahead and portion out all of my ingredients and then start prepping to put these muffins together. All right, so I need to mash up these 2 bananas. So here I am just peeling them, nothing too crazy here. You guys know how I feel about bananas and mashing them. They just don't look that appealing, but trust the process. It made them taste really good. And I was able to cut the amount of sugar or honey that I'm using in half because the bananas are sweet. Ideally, you're gonna want a super ripe banana, but I didn't have that. So let's just use our minds and pretend that those were some really brown bananas. Now, in a bowl, I'm gonna go ahead and take 2 cups of my flapjack mix, add in the almond milk, some honey, the bananas, the butter, and an egg. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, you saw it on the screen. And of course, you already have the recipe down below. And we're gonna go ahead and mix it up really, really well until everything is all combined. You don't wanna over mix, so you're gonna see me in a little bit switch to a rubber spatula just to make sure that there is no dry batter on the bottom, because you know how that can be. We don't want that. And I'm gonna go ahead and line a muffin tin with 12 little brown baking cups. It can be whatever color you want. This is just what I had. And I'm gonna fill each one up about 3/4 of the way up. Try not to overfill it just to avoid spillage in the oven. But if you wanna clean your oven, girl, that's on you. Now that all of our baking cups have been filled with the batter, we're gonna sprinkle on some chocolate chips, and I wanna make sure that you spill the chocolate chips all over the pan just like me, because clearly it's gonna make it taste better. Now we are gonna pop these muffins into the oven, which has been preheated at 350 degrees for about 16 to 18 minutes. I left mine in for 18 minutes and you guys can now enjoy this time lapse. Just make sure that the muffins are slightly golden brown, and if you insert a toothpick in the center, they come out clean. So if it takes 16 minutes, great, but if it takes longer, also great, just don't burn them. While the muffins are baking, as another source of protein, I'm adding some hard-boiled eggs. So here I am just filling a pot with cold water and I'm gonna drop in 10 eggs. You can use the white ones, but I like the brown ones because they just look a little aesthetic. And I'm just gonna pop them in the water before putting them on the stove. I'm gonna boil them for about 12 to 13 minutes and then put them in an ice bath. Okay, so as I'm waiting for my muffins to cool, I'm just gonna go ahead and drain some berries that I soaked in some cold water, baking soda, and a splash of white vinegar, and I mean just a splash. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just use my sink attachment to rinse them off really good one more time. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're clearly having these strawberries. Oh my gosh, it's like I don't teach math. And then you're gonna wanna make sure that you let the strawberries roll all over your counter because, you know, we just love a mess to clean up. And you're just gonna repeat this process until all of the berries are cut. Now for the best part, we get to assemble. Whoa, Rihanna, we get to assemble our muffin boxes. So you're gonna go ahead and put 2 muffins per serving, and then we're gonna follow up with 2 eggs in each, followed by the berries. So I'm not really sure why the berries were giving me such a hard time, but you're gonna wanna make sure that you spill them onto your eggs too, because clearly we want our eggs to look tie-dye pink. Yeah, every single time. I don't know what was going on here, but the berries just were not cooperating. And then top off with your blueberries, and these are our little protein muffin breakfast boxes. All right, so I know I'm gonna get this question, so let me just answer it now. I basically every day took one from out of the fridge, took out the muffins and the eggs and popped them in the microwave for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then just put them back in the glass container and ate from out of the meal prep box. The integrity of each component remained, so you don't really have anything to worry about there. Moving right along into the salad that has had me in an absolute chokehold the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna go ahead and start by seasoning very simply 2 fillets of salmon with some Cajun seasoning, chili powder, and black pepper, and then just gonna use your hand to press the seasonings into there. Again, if you're weird about touching raw meat, please feel free to use gloves, but I'm gonna just use my hands. And then I'm gonna go ahead and sear it in a nonstick skillet in a little bit of olive oil, flesh side down. Is that what it's called? Like the meat side down, not the skin side down. As the salmon is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my fresh produce. So I'm starting off with 2 mini cucumbers, and you want it to roll right off of the cutting board because why would you want it to stay in place? And then we're gonna cut them into little half moons. So I just basically halved it and then I'm just slicing it. And then of course you want your camera to fall because clearly you wanted to see the ceiling. Then I'm gonna go ahead and flip my salmon, and I just want you to see how every time I turn on this camera, something goes wrong. I've never flipped salmon so poorly in my entire life, but you know what? It's fine. You know how to flip salmon probably better than I do, so go ahead and flip your salmon and allow it to cook skin side down for the rest of the duration. And then I'm back to my veggies. I'm just using half of a jalapeno. I like a lot of spice, so I don't remove any of the ribs or the seeds, but feel free to take that out if that spice level is too advanced for you. And then I had this really super ripe avocado that had these weird brown spots that I needed to get rid of, so I'm just adding that in there as well. Now it's time to make a super simple salad dressing with a tablespoon of olive oil and the juice of 1 lime. And you definitely want to make sure that you spray all of the juice all over the countertop because you're trying to season the counters as well. And then I'm going to season with a little bit of onion powder, red pepper flakes, and parsley flakes. Add a dash of hot honey and give it a really good mix, and that's the vinaigrette. Now to the best part, which is assembling. I have a base of arugula, baby spinach, and spring mix. I'm gonna top with my sliced cucumbers and jalapenos, some Parmesan cheese, the avocado, and of course the star of the show, which is the salmon that was cooked to absolute perfection. And then follow up with your salad dressing, and y'all, the salad is amazing. Now, I'm real excited to get into this little hibachi moment because I had all these vegetables and they needed to go. So I'm gonna wash and chop half of a red onion. I would have preferred white, but you know what? We're gonna use what we have on hand. Then I have two medium-ish, maybe medium large size zucchinis that I'm going to chop up into kind of bite-sized pieces. Just make sure it's uniform. The easiest way for me is to make them bite-sized so that they cook fast and it's easy to eat. Then in my skillet, I have a little bit of sesame oil and olive oil, and I'm gonna throw in 2 packages of sliced mushrooms because I'm lazy, the chopped veggies, and basic seasonings like garlic, ginger, red pepper flakes, and onion powder. And we're gonna go ahead and saute them on a really high heat so that they start to sweat and cook until the vegetables are just tender. Now we're moving on to seasoning our protein. I'm using chicken and I'm adding garlic, pepper, onion powder, and a little bit of chili powder. Actually, more like a lot. And then I'm gonna toss it all together and just allow it to sit for about 30 minutes so that the flavors just marinate the meat. Now back to my veggies. They look pretty good. They've got some good color, so I'm gonna take them off the stove. And as they're cooling, I'm going to be using every little hack I can. So I'm gonna be taking a mix of frozen fried rice and cauliflower rice to add volume. And this is a seasoning pack or a sauce pack that came with the fried rice. You don't have to use it, but I prefer to use it. And then add a full bag of cauliflower rice. This is gonna help stretch your portions by adding volume and little calories. And then I'm just gonna add in a little bit of soy sauce. You could definitely use coconut aminos. And then just saute until the rice is cooked and soft. If you have to ask me how I want my chicken cooked, you are never cooking chicken for me because the only answer here is well done. We don't eat pink chicken, so saute it until it's completely cooked, people. Let's make a super basic sauce with a little bit of soy sauce, some minced garlic, 2 cubes of frozen ginger, and a couple of tablespoons of hot honey. Mix it all up, and then you're gonna pour it over your chicken and allow it to thicken and reduce to get this kind of sticky glaze on the chicken. And you guys, the sauce was a game changer. It was literally like 6 ingredients, if that, maybe 4. I can't remember, but minimal ingredients, but fire flavor, y'all. Let's assemble. I'm just so in awe of how much this really looks like hibachi. Like, you can't tell me I didn't go get this from like some Japanese restaurant. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm taking a cup of the rice mixture, about a cup of the vegetable mixture, and then it was getting real messy with the chicken, so I had to edit how I put it in there. But this is it, y'all. This is actually going to conclude this week's meal prep because I don't have a dessert for you. I apologize. But thank you guys so much for sticking around for this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, be sure to turn on your post notifications. That way you can be notified every time your girl drops a new video. And until next time, babes, I'll see you in my next.